Ravina's fields surrounded Runya's fields on all four sides. He asked for payment for protecting Runya's fields. Runya refused to share even the cost of a cheap reed fence or the savings of not having to guard his own field. One day, Runya was harvesting one of his date trees. Ravina asked his own sharecropper to bring some of Runya's dates in. Runya protested vehemently. Ravina said, "You showed that you do want your trees guarded. Without a wall, even goats could take the fruit. Even goats could eat your fruit." Runya responded, "All I would have to do is yell at the goats to stop them from eating." Ravina said, "You would have had to hire a guard to yell at them." Rava paskined the shaila to Runya. "Give Ravina enough to satisfy him. If not, I will make you pay according to the psak of Rav Huna, according to Rabbi Yossi, that you have to pay half of the fence." Next case, according to Rashi, Runya bought a field that bordered on Ravina's property. Ravina thought that he has the first rights to buy it on account of the laws of Bar Basra, where one sells land, the neighbor has the first rights to buy it. Rav Safra ruled that the law of Bar Basra is due to the pasuk of V'asisa hayasher v'hatov b'nei Hashem. Runya is poor, so therefore it is proper to let him buy it. A second version, according to Rabbeinu Tam, Runya bought a field bordering on his own field. It also bordered on three of Ravina's fields, which made Ravina think that he is the one that should be able to buy it first. Rav Safra ruled no. It's just as likely for Runya to be able to buy it as for you. Therefore, he keeps it. The Mishnah says that if the wall of a chutzner fell, the two must rebuild it to a height of 4 amos. If Ruvain built it himself, we assume that Shimon had paid already, unless Ruvain can prove that Shimon did not pay anything. If the wall was originally more than 4 amos, neither can force the other one to rebuild it to a height of more than 4 amos. If Ruvain built it more than 4 amos, and Shimon built a wall near it, which you could put a ceiling to rest on it, on both of the walls, even though he didn't make the ceiling yet, Shimon must share the entire cost of the wall. We assume that Shimon did not pay unless he can prove that he did pay. The Gemara has it that if Levi set a time to pay his debt to Yehuda and claims that he paid it within that time, Levi is not believed. Why so? Reish Lakish explains that we're happy if people do pay on time. We don't believe that he paid early. Abaye and Rava, however, say that he is believed because sometimes one gets money and wants to pay because he's afraid that he'll lose the opportunity to do so. The Mishnah says that we assume Shimon paid unless Ruvain can prove that he didn't pay. The Gemara asks, what's the case? If he says that he paid in the proper time, so then we assume that he did. The Gemara answers, he says that he paid before he had to pay. This teaches that one does pay before the proper time. The Gemara responds and rejects this and says this case is different because he can't wait to pay. The payment is due for each row of bricks when it's built. The Seif of the Mishnah says that we assume that Shimon did not pay unless he can prove that he did. The Gemara asks, what's the case here exactly? If he says that he paid in the proper time, he should be believed. The Gemara answers, rather, he says that he paid before he had to do so. This teaches that one does not pay before the proper time. The Gemara rejects this thinking. This case is different because he doesn't think that he has to pay. He would not pay early. In practice, however, Rav Papa and Rav Huna Breder of Yeshua ruled like Abaye and Rava. Mar bar Ravashi, however, ruled like Reish Lakish. Halacha follows Reish Lakish. We apply the chazaka even against orphans. What does this mean? If a man died before the time to repay his debt, the lender collects it from the orphans and he doesn't need to swear. Normally, one doesn't collect from orphans without swearing. This case, however, is an exception because the chazaka says that a man does not pay before the allotted time, and we can follow the chazaka.